I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Today I want to talk about 5 effects of alcohol that destroy your relationships. And this is an important one. I think we're social beings, right? Everything that we aim towards in life is about other people. That's where we find our happiness in life, in those connections with other people, with our loved ones, our family, your brothers and sisters, your parents, your friends, even your acquaintances, even the people that you work with, connections. I think that's what it's all about. And I think alcohol is one of those things that really screws around with those most basic connections. I think the first one is that alcohol gives you a Jekyll and Hyde sort of a split personality sort of a thing, right? It's not something that's part of you, but it's a part of the person who is the drinker, right? The drinking part of you, right? I've had this so many times. I can't tell you, how much my life looked like a roller coaster, like a bipolar thing. You're up and then you're down, and it's up and down and up and down. And it was always related to alcohol, even when I was drinking, it was sort of, you've got the happiness of the first couple of drinks. You're drinking it down, you feel relieved that you're having a drink. You feel like your habit is being looked after. And then you've got the gradual slump into that brain fog, where you're not really thinking about anything, you're just thinking about the next drink, and you're thinking about whatever comes out of your mouth, you know what I mean? For me, it was a Jekyll and Hyde thing. I'm not talking about, it doesn't have to be Hyde is a dirty, fucking evil bastard, right? Or Jekyll is this super intellectual doctor, right? It doesn't have to be like that. I'm talking about it's just the 2 types of personality. And I think, like Jekyll and Hyde, eventually the Hyde part of it, this inferior person, this inferior part of you starts to take over. The superior part, the person that's got all those synapses firing off, good style. That part of you disappears into the alcohol haze. And there's nothing you can do about it because of the nature of alcohol. I mean, alcohol gets into your system, gets into your body, gets into your brain, and it starts interfering with those basic chemical processes that are the basis of your thoughts. They're the basis of your dreams, of your actions, of everything that you do. Up here is where it's happening. As soon as you start screwing around with that, with outside chemicals, whether it comes from alcohol or nicotine or pharmaceutical drugs, you're messing around with the natural stuff that's going on up there. That's eventually going to have play its toll long term, right? So that's the first thing. I mean, you can see that the Jekyll and Hyde, the more you turn into Hyde, the less that's going to be beneficial to any relationships in your life, right? The second one is the victim mentality. And I think the more you slide into that secondary person, that dumb version of yourself, right? The more you become a victim of your own self, the more you start to get this victim personality around you, this victim mentality where you're looking for the pity party, you're looking for somebody to notice that you're in pain, right? That the hangover is an absolute, sort of a physical manifestation of this, I think, because when you have a hangover, all you want to do is snuggle up in a ball, get underneath the sheets, and let the day go by, right? And get rid of it and go on to the next day when the hangover is gone. And that's sort of a mentality that, the more you go through this, the more of a victim personality you get with this, Third thing is that taking a drug, right? Drinking alcohol is a selfish pastime, right? It's not something that involves other people. My fourth point of this is that it's not sociable, right? We'll go into that in a minute. But when you take any drug, it's the effects of the drug are internal. Nobody else outside of yourself can feel them, right? You might think that you're being more, that you're responding to other people better, and you're able to let down your guard and be the best version of yourself once you're drunk or drugged up. But you're not, right? It doesn't happen that way. All you're doing is pushing yourself more and more inside, and every drink that you take, the more you are pushing yourself inside. So it's a selfish act. So number 4 is that alcohol is not a social thing. You know, when you look at people and they're all drinking, everyone's trying to shout over everyone else, right? The noise, the volume in the air, right, in a pub just gets louder and louder and louder as everyone's trying to put their opinion across, you know. Not really listening to what other people are saying, you know. They're thinking about the next voice that they're going to say, you know, the next thing that they're going to say. So alcohol is not a social drug. It's a depressant, pushes you back inside yourself, and that's not good for any relationships at all. And my final point is that every time you take a drink, right, it pushes you one step closer to an early grave, right? So it's a slow suicide. You know, a lot of people don't like me saying that this is what they're doing to themselves, but I guarantee you that, you know, your body is only able to metabolize a certain amount of alcohol every single hour, whatever it is. It's 1 unit of alcohol per hour. That's for a healthy body, healthy liver. But once you can't do that anymore, then this alcohol is flooding your system and it's causing damage, right? It's causing damage to your organs, to your blood, to your brain. And over time, that accumulation of damage is constricting those organs, and it's constricting your life, right? It's slowly killing you. How is that good for any relationship, right? Unless you're with somebody else who is doing exactly the same thing, and, you know, you're both on this downward journey together, you know. So, I mean, for me, you know, one of the best things that I've done, you know, since I've quit drinking is start eating right food, start exercising, start thinking about what's going into my brain in terms of the news and, you know, bullshit TV and all that kind of stuff, you know, advertisements. You know, advertisements are shit manure. It's not manure, it's just shit for the brain, you know. Makes you think about the things that you not only think about the things that you want, but it forces you to think in a way that happiness is an extrinsic thing, that you can get happiness outside of yourself, and you can't. It's all interior stuff, you know. You know, when you're drinking alcohol, it brings you into yourself. It slowly depresses and shortens your life. It kills off your health, and you know, for me, it's just not something that is good for relationships. My relationships have blossomed since I've stopped drinking, and I guarantee you that most people will say the same thing. You know, I mean, you know, quitting drinking alcohol is not the be-all and end-all, right? You quit drinking alcohol, it's not going to solve all your problems. You've got problems that you've got to solve then for yourself, right? You've got to deliberately go out and day after day after day, you've got to work on those problems then. And, you know, you've got nowhere to hide. You can't hide behind, hide inside of a bottle. You can't hide behind a pill. You can't do any of that stuff. You've got to face your problems and deal with them. But once you start dealing with the problems, you'll start to see that they will improve gradually, you know, and that gradual improvement will speed up the more distance you put between yourself and alcohol. The more you mend relationships, you'll find that other people are only too happy to help you, right? Because, you know, this is what it's all about. It's all about connections and connecting with other people, and you know, you connect with other people, you do things for other people. That's where the happiness comes from in life, and you know, that you'll find that a lot of people will do things for you then, you know, and it's like a mutual thing where just people are that's what relationships are basically about. So look, I'm going to leave it there now. just to say that, you know, there's so many things that you need in life, right? You need air, you need water, you need food, you need other people as well. And alcohol is one of those things that slowly poisons relationships just as much as it slowly poisons you. If you need any help at all, quitting drinking alcohol, come on over to alcoholmastery.com. We have a couple of short courses. We've got a couple of PDFs that you can download. We sent to you over the course of a few weeks. Just leave your first name and email address, and it's all about trying to get your mind into a frame of mind to quit drinking alcohol and get rid of some of the bullshit that's been put in there over the years. Until next time, I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Take good care of yourself. Keep the alcohol out of your mouth. Onwards and upwards. Take care. Bye bye now.